It was a night like no other, a dark, silent evening with the full moon hanging high above, casting shadows across the abandoned mansion at the edge of town. The air was thick with something unnatural, an unsettling presence that no one dared to confront, until five friends did. Drawn by the lure of the unknown, they ventured inside, unknowingly sealing their fate. What they didn't know was that the mansion wasn't just haunted, it was alive. Trapped inside with no way out, they would soon discover the terrifying truth. What waits in the shadows is far worse than any ghost. It's something that has been waiting for them. Would they survive the curse, or become just another part of the mansion's dark history? Watch to find out if you dare. As the darkness descended upon the small town, a chilling wind swept through the streets. The full moon hung high in the sky, casting long shadows across the town. At the edge of town, an old mansion stood, abandoned, its cracked and decayed walls witnesses to tragedies untold. People whispered of a curse, but no one truly knew. That night, however, the curse would reveal itself in the most terrifying way. Inside, a strange force began to awaken. Dust-covered furniture shifted ever so slightly, ancient paintings flickered, and the air grew colder. A group of five friends, driven by curiosity, had made the reckless decision to explore the mansion. Armed with nothing but flashlights, their laughter filled the night air as they crossed the threshold into the house. The door slammed shut behind them, trapping them inside. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the creaks of floorboards beneath their feet. The darkness enveloped them as their flashlights flickered. The air felt thick, oppressive, as though something was watching them. Their hearts pounded in their chests, their footsteps echoing as they ventured deeper into the mansion. Each room they passed seemed to stretch endlessly. Every corner they turned felt like they were descending into something they couldn't comprehend. Suddenly, the temperature dropped drastically. One of the friends, Sarah, gasped as her breath became visible. "Did you feel that?" she whispered. The others nodded, unease spreading. Then, without warning, a loud bang echoed from upstairs. The sound reverberated through the house. "Who's there?" one of them shouted, but no reply came. Only their racing hearts. Against their better judgment, they decided to investigate. They climbed the creaky staircase, each step protesting under their weight. As they reached the top, the door to the master bedroom creaked open on its own. Inside, the room was cold, an unsettling stillness hanging in the air. Then they saw it. In the corner of the room stood a figure, tall, cloaked in darkness, its eyes glowing faintly. It didn't move, but they could feel its presence, pulling them closer. Panic surged, but before they could react, the figure's hands shot out, grabbing one of them, pulling them into the shadows. "Sarah," they screamed, but the darkness swallowed her whole. The others tried to run, but the mansion had other plans. The walls began to close in on them, doors slamming shut, trapping them in a nightmare. The sound of footsteps echoed through the halls, but they couldn't tell if it was their own or something else. One by one, they were picked off. Each step they took was met with an unseen force, something malicious, tormenting them. The more they tried to escape, the more the house seemed to shift. The very foundation warped under the pressure of something far more sinister. As they stumbled through the halls, they came across a door they had passed earlier. Now, the air around it hummed with strange energy. They opened it, even as they knew they shouldn't. Inside, they found a room unlike any other. Bathed in an eerie green glow, there was a pedestal with an ancient book. The pages were stained with something dark. But it wasn't the book that drew them in, it was the voice. Soft, sweet, yet laced with danger. "Come closer," it whispered. "It's too late to leave now." Mesmerized, they stepped forward. The air began to swirl around them. The book glowed brighter, and suddenly, they were no longer alone. The room filled with figures, shadows that whispered in a language they didn't understand. It was too much to bear. The friends tried to run, but the walls pressed in on them, the house consuming them whole. Their screams echoed, but it was all in vain. The mansion had claimed them. As their final screams faded away, the mansion returned to its quiet, desolate state, waiting for the next group of curious souls to wander in, unaware of the horrors that lay within. the curse of the mansion lived on, and no one ever left the same.